Right, shredders, today we're going to look at how to ride switchbacks. What's the problem with them? Well, they're really tight, so it's quite difficult to get your bike to go around the corner. So let's have a little look at how we can generate some space, both with the position of the bike on the ground and our body position on the bike. So the first thing to remember with switchbacks is you have to slow down. They are not fast corners. So I would almost say this is a golden rule. Slow down before the corner. The second thing is to pick the right line. So we want to generate space for the front wheel to come out wide like this so that it can swing around on the outside and then come back in the middle. Watch what happens if I stay completely in the middle of the trail. I'll just wheel my bike round, stayed in the middle, and I'm just going kind of to the inside, and look at the back wheel, how it drags on this bank. So that's really going to unsettle you on the bike, potentially pushing the back wheel, unbalancing you. Quite often what happens when you stay too close to the inside of a turn on a switchback as well is that as you exit, the front wheel is too close to the edge of the trail. So you're either going to find yourself in very loose earth, which means you lose grip, or you might actually find that the front wheel falls off the side of the trail. Oh no! So hopefully you've started to realise that entering the corner too tight means we're going to end up too far out, and therefore we want to do the opposite, which is to enter the corner wide so that we can exit tight. So to do that, you actually need to steer towards the outside of the corner before you turn back in. Some people call that a pre-turn. So on this particular corner, it's actually the smoother, more ridden line is here towards the inside. So just as I approach the corner, I'm going to steer to the outside. And what that's going to do is generate space for my front wheel to turn around the corner. See how my back wheel doesn't touch the bank on the inside and my front wheel doesn't try and fall off the edge of the trail. And you're creating a smoother arc, which hopefully means you can carry a little bit more momentum and roll around and make your way on down the trail. The third thing is that you need to remember to look around the corner. So as you enter your corner, you want to be looking for the exit, because where the head leads, the body follows. So the fourth thing is that you want to drop your outside pedal as you enter the turn, as you start turning the handlebars. And this is going to tie into step 5, which is to lean the bike more than you. And this is where we start talking about generating space with our body position as well as our line on the trail itself. So if you've ever done any cornering drills, say in a car park or in the park, you'll know that the more you lean the bike, the tighter the turn that you can make will be. So if you have your pedals level, it's harder to lean the bike as far. So it's for that reason that you drop the outside pedal on a very tight switchback. So you've dropped that pedal as you're turning the handlebars, and then you lean the bike. Be careful, don't lean with it. This is very definitely a separation of the body from the bike. If you lean with it, you're likely just to topple over or need to put your foot down. This bike body separation that I'm talking about, where you lean the bike way more than you, is like an extreme version of the technique that you use for flat turns. You can check out the flat turns technique by checking out this video up here. And the sixth thing is to use those brakes carefully. So in a switchback, typically you're not going to have the opportunity to get off the brakes because you're trying to really control that speed and your balance, but you want to be careful that you use them smoothly. So avoid grabbing. If you grab, you'll find that the bike moves backwards and forwards, and it can unsettle you and make you lose your balance. By the way, if you're enjoying this skills tutorial, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more just like this one. So let's put that all together. So number 1, we're going to slow down before the corner. 2, we're going to take an outside line into the corner. 3, looking around the corner. Number 4, I'm going to drop that outside pedal. 5, I'm going to lean the bike into the corner more than myself. And number 6, I'm going to use those brakes nice and smoothly. Oh no, what do we do when we can't go outside? Look at this massive rock, it's right on the line. Look at me, I'm right on the inside. Right, well, there's 2 ways to sort this out. We do like a track stand corner, or the pro Endo around the corner. So let's check it out how we do that. So when we have a piece of trail like this one, where perhaps there's something blocking the outside line, or the trail is just very narrow, we're going to have to take a slightly different approach. So we're just going to add in one extra thing to the 6 things we had before and slightly alter the second one. So the first one was to slow right down before you enter the turn. The second one is to enter the turn, but this time we can't go wide. So we just enter. Then third, you're going to look around the corner. 4th, drop that pedal, the outside pedal, and then 5, you're going to actually have to really turn the handlebars. At the same time, you're going to have to do number 6, which is to lean the bike a lot more than you, and this is absolutely key when you've turned the bars, because if you don't, you'll jackknife right round. And then 7 is to use those brakes as smoothly as you can. So let me show you what I mean. So I've slowed down, I'm entering my turn, looking, dropping the pedal, turning my bars, and look how lent my bike is compared to my body, and being smooth with the brakes. Whoop, and I've got round. So hopefully you can see why I'm calling that a bit of a track stand turn, because you do it very slowly to make sure that you can actually get round that tight turn. So you don't need to actually be able to do a track stand, you know, on the road or whatever, because with this you're ever so slightly moving, and that momentum, as long as you've got a good sense of balance, that momentum will keep you going. So one little tip with the braking is what you'll find when it's a very tight turn is the back wheel's almost pivoting on a spot and the front wheel's doing all the turning. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. Just get that down there. See how little the back wheel's turning in comparison to the distance of the front one. So the front wheel makes a much bigger arc, so just let the front brake off and then it can maintain momentum and roll out. And then the super pro way of getting around a tight turn like this is, of course, the Endo, or Endo turn. So what you're going to find with this is that you've got a favoured way of doing it. So I ride left foot forward, and that means that I find right-handers easier to lift the back wheel up and around. So here we are on a left-hander. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, I can't do it. Oh. So you can see that my back wheel doesn't actually swing around that much, but it doesn't take much to just give you that extra bit of space that you need to get yourself around a tight corner like this one. So the technique, the specific technique for endoing, I actually covered in a video which you can check out up here. But if you're already familiar with lifting the rear wheel using the front brake, all that we're doing here is adding in a hip swing. So at the moment where you turn your bars, you apply that front brake, pitch forward and to the side to get the back of the bike to swing round. As I say, you'll have a natural direction. You usually want to push the bike to the same direction as your front foot, so you'll find you have a corner which is the easier direction. So practice on that first, and then maybe take it to your opposite way and see how you get on. But it's a really good way of helping get around the super tight corners, and a nice alternative to the track stand version. So there you go. That's 3 ways to tackle switchbacks. So I hope you found that useful. Have you got any questions? Do let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.